It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. Today is Thursday, September 12th. And if you are here in the Los Angeles area, you had a rude awakening this morning while I was definitely awake. I just dropped my kids off at the bus and we had such a shaker. We had such a crazy earthquake. Well, for me, it felt crazy. This was my first time that I got a notification saying you're about to die. It doesn't really say that. The notification is like it's like an Amber Alert on your phone, and it says, and I'm going to tell you something really fast. Note to any if you're out there and you work for, uh, let's see here. Hold on one second. Um, if you work for what's the company? UC, there we go. USGS. I'm trying to think what that could mean. United States Geography Seismograph, something like that. If you work for USGS, I have a better idea for you because they send an automatic notification, which is amazing, amazing technology for 2024. And apparently, this is like really. We're 10 years behind Japan. Apparently in Japan, this has been going on forever, but it gives you like a little heads up and depends. One of my friends got a 10-second heads up, he said. And then today I got it and then it started shaking, but it says emergency alert, earthquake detected, drop cover, hold on, protect yourself. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be nicer if the message said, love, we're about to experience an earthquake. I want you to take a deep breath, calm down. You're going to be okay. Hold on to your phone and make sure that you call someone in that you love. Let's go through this together. Take deep breaths. 1, 2, 3. And like Zen, this sent me into such an anxiety attack. It was the worst. I don't know if it's better to get a heads up before you potentially are going to die or you just, get notified in the moment. That was my Thursday morning. How was yours? We've got some stories to cover today. So everyone, I hope you're safe. I hope you're not shaking. I hope you're not tornadoing. I hope you're not hurricaning. I hope everything is okay where you are. Let's enjoy the next hour. This is Daily Dose of Donna. Okay, so it was a 5.1 in Thousand Oaks. A lot of you guys are asking, which is far enough. It's like about a 30-minute drive from here. So it's not far, but it's close enough. It's like on the valley side. Anyway, let's get out of that because, trigger warning. A lot of people have a lot of anxiety when it comes to anything with natural disasters or accidents. We do have one story on the docket today dealing with Jon Bon Jovi. And I don't know if you guys heard this, so I'm just going to give you a heads up. We will be talking, actually, yesterday was, I want to say, World Suicide Day, World Suicide Prevention Day, I want to say was yesterday, or it's this week. And the story does relate to that. But it's a good ending. Okay. I wanted to tell you guys, number one, yesterday I had Zach Peter on my show, and I love Zach. And I got a comment that I just felt like I had to address because I'm so surprised that this is what was taken from yesterday's episode. The comment said something along the lines, this was on YouTube. The comment said something along the lines of, Donna, you should have a stronger opinion. You went into your show always loving Nicole from Real Housewives of Miami and not liking Whitney from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and your opinion changed because of Zach. Sometimes I wonder if we're watching the same show. Did I, in any capacity, share like that I all of a sudden liked Whitney from Secret Lives, or that I don't like Nicole from Real Housewives of Miami? I almost thought, am I going insane? Did I have some sort of a brain fart? I love Nicole from Miami. And I still can't stand Whitney no matter what Zach said to me. Sometimes I wonder, don't you guys think this is so weird when two people watch the exact same thing and come out with different, like, they heard differently? So sometimes I start to question, oh my gosh, did I say something? Like I got another comment yesterday saying, don't make a joke about 9/11. What? Not only did I not make a joke about it, I took a few minutes to talk about it and I got emotional. So I always find this so strange. Just to be clear, no one including no, I'm not saying I'm against people changing my opinion because I think that's actually a good thing. If someone can change my opinion about something, then I'm all for it because I don't think it's important. I don't think as human beings we should be like so strong on something. And actually, I want to talk about Heather McDonald because speaking of, I have a story about that in just a moment. Welcome, Alicia. We have a new member, Alicia. If you guys remember, we do members only. I need to put it on the calendar. It's already Thursday, though. What do you guys think about a weekend members only? Should we do a weekend? Anyway, so changing your opinions about people are really, really important. And if it's, you know, worthy, right? So if you love someone like hands down obsessed with someone, but they do something that upsets you or they do something that is offensive or whatever, like it's okay not to love them. You don't always have to be so obsessed with them forever, you know? Like that happened to me this year with Dave Matthews. I don't want to talk about it because it's actually a really, really sad loss for me in my own personal life. But I do remember that you know, it's a it's important to be open to different things, but I love Nicole from Real Housewives of Miami, and I still can't stand Whitney. Speaking of, I need to show you guys some reels, some TikToks, because I didn't follow a lot of these Secret Lives of Mormon Wives girls. I really didn't. I only follow Taylor Frankie Paul because of the whole swinging drama. You know, if someone's swinging, I'm in. If someone out there, there's so much TikTok stuff that we could do an entire episode just on TikTok drama right now. Like someone's calling out Nick Vile, someone's calling out the Skinny Confidential. Like we've got crazy drama on TikTok. But anyway, the point is that I didn't follow a lot of these girls from Secret Lives, so I don't know a lot about them. I just took from what I saw on the show. And that's why a lot of people that are fans of Whitney from TikTok are very confused why all of a sudden she's this horrid person because on TikTok she seems so nice and so wonderful, etc. So I was on Instagram and a couple of my accounts that I follow posted some reels of Whitney's. And when I tell you, I almost fell over seeing this because, like I said, I never watched her before. So I did not know that she was capable of these kinds of acts. Real Moms of Bravo posted one of her reels. They call her Spatula on Real Moms of Bravo. This is a podcast duo and an Instagram account. They call her Spatula. I didn't really understand why. And today they showed us a clip of her on TikTok doing a spatula or why she got the name of spatula. And I think this is something we should all watch together. Okay. So it's just a 2-second little clip, but I'm actually not even going to put the sound on because I don't want to get like a copyright infringement. Just watch what's happening. And if you guys aren't watching the YouTube and you're just listening, maybe you need to go find this one. Okay. You guys want to watch that again? Let's watch that again. That is Whitney walking towards her husband and shoving a spatula up his ass. Then it was wild. Then Bravo and Blaze posted, who's been a guest on my show, Jenny, posted this. She said, Whitney and Connor are so gnarly. Look at this. It says, when it's hubby's turn to choose what we do for date night, he golfs a golf ball or a ping pong ball into her vagina. And in turn, and I don't know how this is happening, she shoots it out and it lands in a red cup. when you're creating content like this for social media, I'm shocked. I am shocked by it all. And we're stuck on fruity cereal? Like, this girl is nasty, right? Gross. Sticking a spatula. I don't know. Look, I don't know what she promised her husband. But if I told Lance, and this is so Katy Perry of me, but if I told Lance that I would give him a BJ, which I don't ever talk about this stuff, ever. But if I promised him that I would do that for one video of me walking past him and sticking the handle of a spatula into his butt, like with aggression, and he clenched it closed, he would look at me and he would say, "That's okay, I've got a hand." You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things that you just don't want to do on social media. So this was interesting. And everyone has their thing. Everyone has their thing. Those Mormons, they don't drink coffee. And I still am shocked by this, by the way. And like, let's just talk about this for 5 minutes. I saw a post about why do Mormons not drink coffee? Why can't they drink a cup of hot coffee or tea? Why are they always going to these sodas and like massive amounts of Dr. Pepper? And the truth is that there's something about warm drinks. Also caffeine, but not caffeine, but coffee specifically. But there's some rule in the Mormon world about warm drinks. And I don't really understand like the reason. It's something about, God and the religion. But you cannot drink warm drinks, but you can stick your face like with Botox, like a lot of Botox at 20 years old. You can get plastic surgery and you can drink copious amounts of soda with sugared syrups. Yeah, can they have iced coffee? I mean, they're all having caffeine in their sodas. Dr. Pepper, well, actually, I don't know if Dr. Pepper has caffeine, but like Coke for sure does. Oh my God, Jamie, this is funny. Says they don't drink coffee. That's why they use a spatula to get things moving. And that, my friends, is why we watch Daily Dose of Donna, because I am just the mouthpiece and you guys are the writers of this show. The dosers are the reason the show succeeds and exists. And speaking of, this is your reminder, my loves, to subscribe. Do you know that 30% of my daily viewers are not subscribed to the show? 30%, which is wild to me. I don't know if it's just you land on it and you don't subscribe, or you go out of your way to watch the show and you're not subscribed. Subscribe. It hurts no one. It only helps me. So thanks, loves. All right, let's get into our first story right after we talk about the sponsor of today's show. Now, a lot of you guys want to learn new things. For example, how to TikTok, how to stick spatulas up your husband's butt, how to, look like the most horrid, awful person, and how to make a Diet Coke, coconut milk, vanilla syrup, peppermint extraordinaire. But because this show is sponsored by BetterHelp, kids are always learning and growing. But as adults, we lose that curiosity. This is not time to lose that curiosity. What's something you would like to learn? Tell me in the comments. Tell me what you want to learn right now. And wrong answers only. Okay, let's have fun with this. I personally would like to learn how to be an underwater basket weaver. I would personally like to learn how to tattoo eyebrows on myself. And really, truly, I want to learn how to braid my underarm hair. These are all things I want to learn. Just kidding. But therapy can help you reconnect with your sense of wonder, because your back to school era can come at any age. That's true. If you're thinking of starting therapy, you should give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be convenient, flexible, and suited to your schedule. Just fill out a brief questionnaire to get matched with a licensed therapist and switch therapists anytime for no additional charge. Rediscover your curiosity with BetterHelp. Visit betterhelp.com/Donna, DANA, today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Donna, DANA. Oh my God, I'm dying. We did have one comment of what you want to learn, and Sarah wants to learn how to soak. And if you know what soaking means, it doesn't mean in a bathtub. It means, well, ask the Mormons. The Mormons know all about the soaking. Let's get into some stories today. So the first thing that's on my list is Real Housewives of Potomac. So Real Housewives of Potomac dropped their trailer. I can't show it to you guys because YouTube is so tough about these things and it ends up being like a whole mess afterwards. So the trailer dropped and I'll kind of like walk you through what I see. But I'm going to tell you something and I think it's going to be depressing. I think they have nothing. I think Potomac does not look good. The trailer is usually giving you the best of the best, and it doesn't give you a lot. What other show recently did we see where we saw a trailer and we were like, huh? That's it? I'm trying to remember. There was a show that we saw and we were like, oh, Roni, the new Roni. I wonder, I mean, we'll have to see if that's actually true. But like, remember the Real Housewives of OC trailer was like insanely good, and look how good the season is. So it's really not exciting. This is not an exciting trailer at all. But what we do know is the show is going to air on October 6th, which I don't know what day of the week that is. The trailer starts with a bunch of the girls celebrating someone's 40th birthday. Giselle is there, Ashley's there, Karen Huger's there, Wendy's there, and what's her name? Oh my God, why can't I remember her name all of a sudden? The girl who's married and who's dating G now and was married to the older guy. Hello, someone help me. They're celebrating, then they start talking about Karen Huger. You know how the trailers always work. It's like starts really, really fun and like, look how many fun things we did. Look at this funny thing. And like, oh, that was wild and laugh. Mia, thank you. It was ha 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 ha. Ha. And then there's a ropes course and the kids are involved and everyone's laughing. And then then it gets serious. So there's definitely some conversation in the trailer about Karen Huger and her DUI, which brings up an interesting subject. In my Facebook group, Daily Dose of Donna, by the way, every single time I say this, you guys come and join the Facebook group. My Facebook group is growing so well in the last couple of days. So join Daily Dose of Donna Facebook group. So in the Facebook group, it was posted that why is it that Karen Huger's DUI, because remember, she had a DUI earlier, I believe it was at the end of last year or was it the beginning of this year? I can't remember. Why is it that her DUI was kind of like skated over? Like the fans didn't really care so much about it. Yet, obviously, Shannon's DUI was hugely a big deal. Was it because we saw footage of it? Because I really do believe the footage of Shannon's DUI was scarring to watch. Was it because it was Shannon? Was it because Shannon has been a problem drinker throughout so many seasons and we've seen this come up so many times that we were like, oh my gosh, this is it? Michelle thinks it's because the fan base is bigger with OC. August says it's because of the wreck and the video. Yeah, like the video. Karen, she was charged with a DUI on March 20th. This is when it came out on TMZ. And this was her second DUI. The police report when she was arrested said that Huger had bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and a strong smell of alcohol on her breath. They also found 2 bottles of wine upon a search, and she did get a second DUI 10 years before the show premiered. So I don't really know exactly why specifically. We're so much more serious about Shannon's, or we were so much more affected by Shannon's. It's interesting. My comment to this was that the audience picks and chooses kind of who to vilify in this world of housewives. 2 people can have the same exact actions. Like, for example, we can have a friend group totally fall apart and people call people names. On one show, it's the biggest deal. On the second show, it's not that big of a deal. We could have stories about arrests. We can have stories of divorces that just don't affect us so much on certain shows, and then they do on others. So it's really hard to say How? Someone in the Facebook group said that they think Shannon is having it worse because that season is currently on. But I think Shannon had it worse even before the season. Like Karen was big news for one day and then no one ever talked about it again. Um, Someone said that rumor has it that Karen has a very rough season on her focus with the drinking. Well, so look, if that's the case, then I guess it will be treated fairly on both sides. Shannon and Karen's drinking and the DUI does come up on both the seasons. So I guess we'll have to see what happens with both of them. I don't know. Other than that, we have a whole story with Mia and her ex and G, and I can't really follow what's happening, but the truth is the season looks it looks like they don't have anything. It looks boring, it looks kind of slow. It looks like last season, quite frankly, which Potomac last season to me was almost unwatchable. Like I got through it, but 4 weeks late. I almost never talked about it on the show. I just found it was so not compelling or interesting or there was just nothing to really follow with it. So I'm hoping this next season gets a little bit better. I don't know how it can get worse than last season. It is lovely not seeing Robin though, but I do miss Candace. I do miss Candace on that. Okay, so next. That comes out October 6th. So far right now, in terms of like premiere dates, and I'm curious from you guys if you have them off the top of your head. I know that we are coming up on, well, this is not Bravo, but Sister Wives is coming up in like 4 days. I think it's on Sunday. Bravo premiere dates. We know that October 6th is Real Housewives of Potomac. September 18th is Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. October 1st is Real Housewives of New York. So we have Salt Lake City in 6 days. We have New York City on the 1st of October, and then we have Potomac on the 6th on the 6th of October as well. And meanwhile, what's on TV right now is just, it's Million Dollar Listing, which just, I guess, had its season finale last night. I watched it a little late. I think it's a really short season, like a really short season, because I feel like it just started. And Below Deck Mediterranean, which I watch as a filler show just because there's nothing else on. And when I tell you, it's so not a good cast this year. Like, I don't know where they went wrong on Below Deck Med, but it's almost impossible to watch. Oh, interesting. Okay. Michelle says, FYI, TLC will drop the Sister Wives episodes on Max and Discovery Plus the next day, not Sunday night. I watch it on TLC, though. I watch it on YouTube TV. So I'm excited for Sister Wives, but just remember, Sister Wives, we get very excited for, and nothing happens. Like the first 8 episodes of Sister Wives, we'll see maybe one conversation. Sister Wives is it's the reality TV version of Days of Our Lives. You know that when you like watch an episode of Days of Our Lives in 2006, right? And then you never watch again, and then you go back on 2010, 4 years later, they're just in the same conversation. How one conversation spreads like 46. We're not going to get that much in Sister Wives. Let's be real. The best part about Sister Wives is just making fun of everyone that we see with love, with so much love, you know? Million Dollar Listing LA is one of my favorite shows on TV. And I say this straight up, not because of the drama. There's really not a lot of drama. I just find it to be real estate porn in a better way than like a Selling Sunset. I find it to be really enjoyable to watch. I love the characters. I really do. I love Tracy Tudor. I love Josh Flagg, and I love Josh Altman. Like, none of them, even though they're all obnoxious at times, I really find them all very interesting characters, and it's real life. It feels real. They're really selling all these houses. This is not like a bullshit show. It's a great, great show. Let's move on. We still don't have a premiere date for Beverly Hills, but actually, let me like segue into this really fast. Heather McDonald, what I was saying earlier. I've had my feelings about Heather on and off through the years, right? Like, or through the last year with the Jeff Lewis and Megan and Heather things. And, I don't listen to her show regularly. I will listen if there's a really good guest or if someone's like, you gotta listen to this. She talks about something. I have to say, she had Sutton on her show today. And I'm a stan of Sutton's. You guys know this about me. I love Sutton. I've always loved her ever since her first season on the show. I find her endearing. I find her real. I find her shockingly relatable, even though she gets a child support payment more than what I make a year per month. But she is so lovely. She really is so lovely to me. So she was on Juicy Scoop, Heather McDonald's show. And so I listened to it this morning as I was getting ready. They talk about all kinds of things or whatever. And I have to say, it was one of my favorite interviews of Sutton that I've heard. And I don't know if it's a Heather reason or whatever, but Sutton felt very comfortable. You could tell. I was having a lot of fun and she said to Heather in many ways about her experience on Housewives. She said that she was shocked after doing Housewives because she didn't think, and this is important. She said, I didn't think that that women, including myself, could be this mean. Women, including myself, could be this calculated and like awful to each other, which I thought was a really, really important thing. She says that at the beginning of the show, she was really meek and she was really timid and she wishes she could go back and really defend herself. She felt like she was treated really badly at the beginning. They talked about Fox Force 5 and how stupid it was. But then she talked about Real Housewives of OC and she talked about Shannon. And she said what they're doing to Shannon Bedore is so, so wrong. And when she says they, she doesn't mean the producer, she means the women. How the women are forcing Alexis to be like part of the crew. And I assume that's what's happening. I don't think production is forcing Alexis, right? Like Alexis is getting invited to these things. She said that is like one of those things. I don't know why I just took a sip in the middle of a sentence. That was so rude of me. I'm so sorry. She said that was that's one of the hardest and like meanest things she's ever seen. So she also talked about what if you find your if you find your best friend's partner cheating. And she did say this. She goes, I am not someone who you want to find in a situation where I catch your husband cheating on you, because I will go straight up to that husband and I will say, listen, hi, you remember who I am? Yes. Are you going to tell her or am I? Because no one wants to be in that situation. We're talking about, we were talking about the Lisa Hochstein story of it all. And I forget who else that we were talking about on that. They were talking about cheating. I mean, cheating is literally on Chelsea on Selling Sunset. They were talking about that story. Would you want to be the friend to tell your friend? And she was like, I'm always going to be that friend. I really liked her. I really, really liked Sutton on that show. It was a good one. Now, Valerie says OC had one of the biggest backfires I've ever seen, which is what Heather said too. Heather said, I believe that Tamra and Alexis miscalculated what the audience would feel about Shannon. They thought that people were going to come into this next season of OC and like all really hate Shannon. Shannon was going to be the villain of the crew. Here's what I think. And I don't know if I've said it here before or I said it somewhere. I think Shannon, in a sick, roundabout way, should be so grateful that Alexis is back on the show. Why? Because Alexis does her own job of making people not like her. Alexis is so unlikable in every capacity. Alexis and Whitney from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, like the same kind of personality. Better than you, snobby, snotty energy, just unlikable energy. So Shannon just sitting quiet and Alexis coming onto that show, acting the way she does, that on its own is doing the job of making Shannon likable. If Alexis was not back on the season and we didn't really hear about Jon and we didn't really hear about Alexis, I think Shannon would be vilified. I think Alexis was brought on to save Shannon's reputation, and it's doing a really good job because we're all Team Shannon, right? Okay. Let's move on from the housewives. I don't think there's another housewives story that I have today. There's just some other stories that I thought were kind of interesting. Did you guys hear about this viral post that went viral yesterday and it was all over the place about Dave Grohl? We talked about this yesterday. The Foo Fighter lead guy, his love child from outside the marriage. Now, remember yesterday I told you that there's a girl that I know on Facebook from like my casting days or whatever who stated on her Facebook post, I bet you guys all knew or thought of this person. Well, I found out who this person is. She's a no-namer, so I would never post her name here. But apparently, 10 years ago, this random girl in LA that these girls all knew would always talk about the fact that she was like effing Dave Grohl. I have a feeling that Dave Grohl has been fully cheating on his wife for the entirety of their marriage. And this is the only time that he had an oopsie. That's my guess. And I don't know if it was an oopsie that he supported or he found out about it after the baby was older, or maybe there's a lawsuit involved where the baby mama came to him. But I believe this man was cheating on her throughout the entire marriage, just like I think is similar to Mauricio and Kyle. I believe Mauricio was effing around. This is all just my opinion. This is not fact for the entirety or a strong portion of their marriage. It's so I don't think the cheating thing is what's shocking probably to the wife because I think the wives know. I don't think it's possible. I'm going to get my hair done this weekend with my hairdresser that I've been with for, 20 plus years. She's best friends with a huge, huge rock star's wife. Like huge. And she's told me in the past, I haven't talked to her about this, but she's told me in the past that this wife tries to go on tour with him always, but of course with kids that's where it gets difficult. And also, and you guys, if you're watching this with your husbands, close their ears right now, okay? Wakes up in the morning if her husband needs to get up at 5 a.m. to get on a flight or whatever, will wake up every morning that they're sleeping in the same bed 5, 6, 7 nights a week, 2 nights a week, whatever, and will force herself to sleep with him every single day of his life that they're together. And she'll do it at 2 a.m. if that's when it needs to happen, or 6 a.m. or 2 p.m. or whatever, but every single day. I imagine with this kind of like goal to satisfy his needs so that he's not out there looking as if we're acting as if men are like thirsty in the desert if they don't get laid every day, that they must. I don't know how I'm going to go on tour tonight. I just don't know how I'm going to go and, whatever. Queen says that won't stop him. Yeah, because is it about the sex or is it about the rush or is it about like the chase? Is it about the doing the bad duty? Like what makes these men? I just say men, but really it's all of them, like always on tour, cheat. Michelle says quantity of sex is not what cheating is about. I think cheating is about, I think quantity can be for men and for women. Let's be real, because let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you. Well, let's not talk about you and me and sex. That's weird. Dosers. I love you, but not like that. I think that because physical connection is so tied to emotional connection for women, that if you have absolutely no physical connection with your spouse as a woman, you're going to crave it with someone else. Not crave physical, but crave that emotional. For men, I do believe that if they're not getting physically that, there is a craving for them to seek it elsewhere, but not every man that doesn't have sex is out there cheating. Right? Does that make sense? Cheating is not about the need, Mark says. It's about the excitement and the adoration. Yeah, it's about that feeling of like, oh my gosh. And I mean, I think we can all feel that, right? We can all understand that dopamine rush of like, oh my God, someone's into me. For men, it's often about achieving victory, hunting and winning. Ew. Attention, the chase, the variety, totally fangirls. Interesting. Now, let's talk about like a Jax Taylor, though. Jax Taylor was not sleeping with Brittany. We found that out, right? Jax Taylor and Brittany Cartwright were not sleeping together for so long. Do we think he was cheating? Do we think he was, see, oh my God, again, I'm taking sips in between sentences. Like, what's happening? I must be so thirsty. I'm so thirsty. I mean, I think Jax was cheating just because of all the rumors that I was hearing about Jax. You guys were all too, all the blinds and stuff. But I don't know if like does that cause him not to come home and want to have sex with his wife? Like it's so interesting to me. I guess it's case by case. Anyway, the point is Dave Grohl, I believe that he has been sleeping around forever and this is the first time that he got caught. But yesterday this post comes up online from this person, and I have to be careful because I don't want to share any like names or anything, especially if it's fake. There was a viral post yesterday that was posted claiming that she was the mother of this surprise love child. Now he is insisting through his reps that this post is fake and it's not true. But this post was called that his new daughter was called Roxy Junie Grohl. And it was shared by this user. Well, I guess I can say because it's all over TMZ and page 6. Valerie Grayston. Let's see if it's still there. They made her take it down. You guys probably know more than me about this. Valerie Grayston. Is it even showing up for me? It's not even showing up for me. I don't know if she got rid of it, but this post, Valerie Grayston posted a newborn baby, like a little hand, and it said in the caption, "My sweet Roxy Junie Grohl. Being your mama has already been the most incredible experience of my life. Every day I fall more in love with you and this new role. Your dad was by my side through the entire pregnancy, making sure we were both taken care of, and I'm so grateful for his love and support. I'm new to this whole baby mama thing, but I promise to always do my best for you. As much as I want to share my joy with the world, I also need to protect our privacy right now. I'm happy that everyone knows about you, though, because you're such a special part of my life. P.S. Every time I look at you, Roxy, I see so much of your dad in your face. It's like a little reflection of him in the tiniest, most beautiful way." Okay. If that was actually true, I would despise this woman. Like, this is a disgusting, this is what Alexis Bellino would do. You know what I mean? If Alexis Bellino was the baby mama to Dave Grohl's baby outside of marriage, she would post this. "My sweet Davy G. My Davy." It's gross. Um, I mean, she also said in this post, "You're a perfect blend of us both. You're our little legacy. We couldn't be prouder." I mean, it's really, really crazy. But he has come out and said that it's false and it's not real. Um, I really hope this is not it is, because then I would feel sick as his wife. My question is, and I'm so interested in this, my question is, what happened? Is this baby new? Did she say, "I'm going to go to TMZ. I'm going to go to the press. I'm going to go and do this"? She must have threatened him, whether it was like with extortion or, whatever. She must have threatened him very Johnny J, like, "I'm going to go to the press. I'm going to release this information unless you come back and say it earlier, or not even unless you just, I'm going to release this information." And then he probably, spoke to attorneys and his people and said, "I don't want this to be released on like the cover of, a People magazine article with pictures and everything. I want to get in front of this and take accountability." Do I believe that he's taking accountability because he's like such a good man? No. I think he feels like scared, shitless, and didn't know what else to do. It's giving like, how we were talking about that story of like financial infidelity. It's the same thing. It's like he's holding something from his family, something very, very serious about him, whether, a lot of men maybe hide how much money they're in debt, or the fact that they have affairs, or the fact that they are involved in, substance abuse, whatever. And it's like it's about to come out. So he's getting in front of it. It doesn't make me look at him as a courageous human being. It just makes me look at him as someone that's, like, trying to stay afloat and not completely ruin the Foo Fighters' career. However, in my opinion, I don't think anything is gonna ruin the Foo Fighters' career, because for whatever reason, and tell me if I'm wrong, I don't believe there's one I don't believe there's a lot of men out there, so for some reason, I feel like the Foo Fighters audience is mostly men. Am I wrong? I just see it as mostly, like, it ain't Sarah McLachlan. You know what I'm talking about? Like, this is not a Billie Eilish crowd. This is probably a majority men crowd, and for some reason, I just don't see men stopping to go to his shows, stopping to support him. If anything, they're probably like, "What a stand-up man that guy is." I don't see his wife staying with him because I think that this is now when it gets too embarrassing to be with someone. I think also, she's surrounded by her daughters who are teens, and I think the youngest is maybe 10 or 11, so, like, teen-ish, and there's absolutely no, um, way that they're not dying over this. Like, his poor daughters had to, I guess, delete their social media and stuff, so I'm sure they're struggling too, and I think as a mom, it's really hard. God, I don't know. I guess it comes down to the fact you have to, like, weigh your options, right? I mean, people don't talk to their parents for a lot smaller reasons than fathering a child outside of marriage. Look at Tamra and her kids. So, I'm actually really, really I just can't believe he was such an idiot about it. I don't understand how he would sleep with someone and not be protected against this. Like, why wouldn't you get a vasectomy? Like, you're so old. Like, you don't need more kids. You got 3. Not to say that it's okay to cheat, but, like, if that's what your life was for so many years. Anyway, it's a bummer. I think he definitely did have a good reputation. I've heard great things about him. Now, I did see an article about Taylor Swift and the fact that anyone that's had any drama with Taylor Swift in the past has been, like, screwed over. I forget where I saw this article, but, I saw an article about Taylor Swift, um, Dave Grohl. Didn't Dave Grohl post something, like, really awful about Taylor Swift recently? Oh, yeah, in June, Dave Grohl has been a longtime fan of Taylor Swift, but a recent comment he made has not sat well with Swifties. It said that while performing at London Stadium on Saturday, June 22nd, at the same time as Taylor Swift's nearby show at Wembley Stadium, he said, "I tell you, man, you don't want to suffer the wrath of Taylor Swift. So we like to call our tour the Errors Tour. We've had more than a few eras and more than a few fucking errors as well, just a couple. That's because we actually play live. Just saying, you guys like raw live rock and roll music. You came to the right effing place." People got really, really upset about that, and, like, the Swifties got really upset, and now the article that I saw today was, like, all these people that have had drama with with Taylor Swift, so, like, Scooter Braun and Kanye and Dave Grohl have all had, like, really bad press, right? Been canceled or fired or, of course, this. So, there is something about being on Taylor Swift's bad side. That being said, did you see Taylor Swift last night at the VMAs? I thought she looked hot, and I'm not like I loved the Eras tour. I thought it was phenomenal. I had really truly one of the best nights of my life. I really think she's incredible. I bought the movie before it was available on Disney Plus. I can listen to All Too Well 5,000 times and, like, cry and scream to it. I thought, there's a lot about her I like. That being said, I'm a little tailored out. Like, I feel a little bit like at my limit with Taylor Swift. It's just too much. I feel like there's just a lot. It's like more and more and more. It's just too much, right? But I liked seeing her at the VMAs because that's kind of like where we see her and she like where we should see her, right? And at a music award show. This is how she looked at the VMAs. I'm sure you guys all saw videos and pictures, but I'll just show you. She looked stunning. My friend texted me, uh, look at Taylor Swift. She looks nails. I said, I'm sorry, what? What is nails? Apparently, nails means hot. I didn't know. I didn't know that, but that's what that means. So this is what she looked like um at the VMAs yesterday. I mean, she looks I saw um on Ryan Bailey on his Instagram, he said she's coming after Alan Cummings' job for the Traders because she's wearing this like plaid cape. She looked great. Okay. She's beautiful, but she was nominated for a ton. I don't know exactly how many she won, but because I didn't watch it. I mean, do you guys watch the VMAs? I think we're way, I think we're way too old. You guys can hear me okay, right? I just want to make sure I got a notification. I think we're way, way, way too old to watch the VMAs. Like, no thanks. I would watch if there was performances. I don't even know if there were. But anyway, Taylor Swift was there. She won, and at one point she did thank her boyfriend Travis. Now, I guess this is her first time ever saying boyfriend. I don't know. And honestly, I don't care. That is so stupid. People died over it. So I'm going to tell you guys something right now, and I'll hold for applause. I'd like to thank my husband, Lance. I'm waiting. What? You're not applauding me? Applauding? Listen, people are really excited about Travis and Taylor, but the fact that she called him her boyfriend on stage is like so weird that people lost their minds over it. Like they're out and about making out everywhere. Like, really? This is really what's happening? It's so interesting. Um, but anyway, Taylor Swift, she's like, another one bites the dust about Dave Grohl, probably. She really I would be really worried about being on Taylor Swift's bad side. There is a vibe of Taylor that's very like voodoo girl. I feel like Taylor sits at home with her voodoo dolls and like drinks certain teas. I mean, she's not Mormon, so she can. So she's drinking tea and she's like voodoo dolling around. There's something about her that just feels a little spooky. So for that reason, I love you, Taylor. Okay. Nikki and Artem, you guys know that I am still on my rewatch of Total Bellas. I had to put it aside for all the TV that we got this last week, but I am a big, big fan of that show. And I still haven't seen when she started dating Artem. Now, one of the moms at the school that I go to school, that my kids go to school with, told me just the other night at back to school night that she was neighbors with Artem. They lived right next door to each other. She said he was beyond nice, kindest man ever, did the most gorgeous renovations to his house. Like they loved him. And then he met Nikki, moved to Napa, and now is arrested for domestic violence. She says she's in shock over it. Obviously, he's not currently arrested, but got arrested. But according to TMZ, Nikki Bella has filed to divorce Artem after his domestic violence bust. She's tapping out. Get that? Tapping out when it comes to her marriage because she just filed to divorce Artem only weeks after he was arrested for domestic violence. She beelined it to court on Wednesday, that's yesterday, and filed for divorce after 2 years of marriage. The divorce filing comes nearly 2 weeks after he was arrested for felony corporal injury to spouse or cohabitant for allegedly attacking Nikki, resulting in a visible injury that triggered his arrest. She started looking for divorce attorneys immediately after Artem's arrest. And they have one kid together, Mateo. There's no one knows if there's a prenup. It's not a shock that she's filing for divorce. I don't see a relationship like this ever working once someone's arrested for domestic violence, which is why it's so confusing if you watch Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, why Taylor, Frankie Paul, and Dakota are still together when there's an arrest involved over a fight. I feel like that's like a sign. It's feeling very teen mom. You know what I mean? It's feeling very Janelle and Kifa. Um, season 5 is when Artem shows up on Total Bellas. Okay, so I have another season to watch. Now, TMZ thinks it's gonna be a nasty divorce. No one knows the real story about what happened except those 2, and I'm dying to know, like, what happened, but regardless, if there was injury to him, to her, both on both sides, it's wrong, it's not okay. Um, I don't care if she threw shoes at him, like, he shouldn't be scared for his life that he should abuse her or beat her in self-defense. I mean, if she was coming after him with a knife and a gun, then fine, but, like, yeah, it's just a lot. It's a lot. I really like the Bella twins. Like, you can't make me hate them. You also can't make me hate John Cena. I'll say it again. Man, oh man, I'm still hoping. Still cross my fingers down the line. Maybe they'll be like a J-Lo and Ben. Speaking of J-Lo, did you guys hear that she's exploring a purchase of a $55 million estate in LA? Now, I have a personal story. I have a personal story about this. So, when I saw this article, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is nuts." So, J-Lo, and I wanna pull up the article so I can show you guys pictures in case you haven't. So, J-Lo and Ben Affleck obviously are getting divorced, and they put their $60 million home on the market. I don't know if they've sold it. Let's see. But now she's exploring this purchase of a $55 million home. Why is this interesting? It's because it's the home of the Azrias. This is so wild to me, and I'll tell you why. Um, First of all, I want to show you this house. This is the house. Okay. It's in Holmby Hills. It's the most stunning house you've ever seen in your entire life. I mean, look at this house. It's beyond gorgeous. $55 million. But apparently, she is going to try to get a better deal. And she's entering a 30 to $39 million offer to purchase the $30,000 square foot estate. Um, okay. Why this is interesting. I went to elementary school with the daughter of Max Azria, the oldest daughter of Max Azria. So Max Azria, BCBG, had a son, an older son, and then 2 more daughters with one wife, divorced, then met his wife until he died, Lubov, Lubov, and with her had, I wanna say 2 more daughters, maybe 3. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. Lots of girls. And they lived half a block away from our elementary school. And she and I, his oldest daughter, and I became besties. And I spent every single Friday evening at her house for Shabbat dinner, where they would have the owners of Guess and all of these like huge French, Jewish, like beautiful people. They had a chef. And this was in a beautiful house in the flats of Beverly Hills, but it was compared to this house, it was nothing. It was like kind of a smaller house. And this was just when BCBG was starting. So when we had days off school, we would get in his car with him and Luba in the mornings in their limo that they would get driven from them from Beverly Hills to downtown Vernon, which is like the area of downtown where their factory was. And I used to go with her on days off from school to the BCBG factory and just like try on all the clothes that they couldn't sell and have fun with that. It was seriously such a huge part of my life growing up. And then when we went into high school, she and I kind of like split up. And then she ended up starting to date the love of my junior year life, Rodney. I'll never forget that. I'm still heartbroken over that, but whatever, girl code. Anyway, the point is she and I kind of like lost touch after years. She went to college. I don't even know where she went. I went to college. She ended up getting married. She ended up getting divorced. Now she's like remarried, whatever. His company got so big that they sold that flats of Beverly Hills and they bought this $55 million home. I just can't wrap my head around that kind of wealth. So J-Lo looks like she's putting in a bid to move in with the Azrias. Now, a final story for today is about Jon Bon Jovi. This is a good story. It has a good ending, but I just wanted to give you the heads up because we will talk about um I'm just going to say it. I can't imagine that you can't talk about suicide, right? Jon Bon Jovi was spotted on camera stopping a woman from jumping off of a bridge to end her life in Nashville. Is that not insane and the best story that you can imagine? So, on Wednesday, yesterday, on 9/11, on, I believe it's Suicide Prevention Week. I don't know if it's weekday, month, I don't know, but this is the time where a lot of people are talking about suicide prevention. Jon Bon Jovi talked someone out of taking her own life in a video shared by the Metropolitan Nashville Police Department on Wednesday. The heart-wrenching video, it was recorded Tuesday evening, shows him slowly approaching a woman on the famous, I'm going to say this wrong, John Siegenthaler pedestrian bridge in Nashville, Tennessee. He happened to be filming a music video for his song People's House when he and his team noticed the woman standing on the outer ledge of the bridge and clenching onto the handrails. Jon Bon Jovi then stopped a few feet away from the woman and began speaking to her before moving closer alongside another bystander. It's unclear what was said, but the singer and the other individual appeared to convince the woman in distress to return to the main part of the bridge. The video shows the pair helping the woman back over the railing before further speaking to her. He has extensive training, apparently, because he has a Jon Bon Jovi Soul Foundation. So he's working with people in crisis a lot with this. And in this organization, the purpose is to recognize and maximize the human potential in those affected by hunger, poverty, and homelessness by offering assistance and establishing programs. He will not make a statement regarding his heroic actions out of respect for the private individual. I think that's so lovely. I think it's so wonderful. And it's also so scary because can you imagine being in a situation where you see this in front of you? And of course, I would really, truly hope that all of us are people that would go and try to help. But I always get scared because, like, it's all on you to say the right thing and to do the right thing. And, like, if you don't have training on how to literally walk someone off a ledge or talk someone off a ledge, what if you say the wrong thing? It just feels so scary. It's like such pressure. I almost hope Jon Bon Jovi does release like what he said. What are the right words to say to someone when they're literally at the on the ledge about to jump? Cuz like what would you say? What are you supposed to say? Like it's not worth it. People love you. Don't do it. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's really sad. But it's so wonderful that he was able to do that. Um those that are listening though, if you have been affected by this in your life, if someone you love or someone who you love someone, like everyone we know has been affected by this horrible uh act. And I believe there's always someone that is there for you at your loneliest hour. And every like I'm reading a book right now that deals with this situation right now, and it's called The Wedding People. And it's like a lighthearted book, but it starts with a woman contemplating ending her own life, and then it doesn't happen. It's really there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. You know what I mean? There's always someone that you can speak to, and there's always someone that you can get help with. And if you can't find anyone, legit jump in my DMs. Like, I'm here. And I'm not trying to say that I'm Jon Bon Jovi, but if I have an audience, I can tell you guys that there's someone there for you to help you. Um, that being said, thank you so much for being here today. I love you guys. Thank you for subscribing and supporting the show as always. Tomorrow we'll talk about Real Housewives of OC, and we'll wrap up our Friday with some fun, hopefully. And thank you, Mark. Suicide prevention hotline is 988. So call the suicide prevention hotline if you need to talk to anyone. The more we can talk about these things, the better. I love you very much. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.